Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do this touching. Welcome back to Big Mouth. I'm just trying to wake myself up. Welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep this or any other conversation I ignite going over on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad, my Vero at Big Mouth 1, and the extension to this channel, give or take a few oddball dancing vids, is my Instagram at BigMouth11289. Yes, welcome to Saturday's edition of the DCEU Daily, and on today's show we discuss Karen Gillan throwing her hat in the ring to play Batgirl and direct Batgirl. I think this has captured the imagination, so I want to discuss. I want to take a closer look at what's going on with the Green Lantern TV series. I found an article somewhere. I'm gonna check that out if I can. So yes, some very, very interesting things going on. There's also a debate: should the Snyder Cut of Justice League be in black and white? I shall give you my opinion. So yes, let's start gasbagging, nattering. You Americans don't understand any of this, but it doesn't matter. Let's begin. So Karen Gillan, in an interview, said she would very, very much like to play Batgirl, and she'd love to direct the movie. But not only that, she said one of her favourite movies is The Dark Knight. She just loves that movie. Now, this is very interesting from Karen. I mean, she will be going in production eventually with James Gunn once he's finished with the Suicide Squad movie for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's very interesting that she's saying, hey, I want my next movie to be a DC movie. And one of my favourite movies is a DC movie. So what's going on here? I think she's being genuine. I will give you my opinion, and I think that would be a great move. Look, the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy will never forgive Disney for sacking James Gunn and, you know, hanging him out to dry when those 8-year-old tweets were revealed and he was sacked. He should never have been sacked. I don't agree making jokes about children sexually. I don't agree with that, but I don't think you should lose your job over it because he's not been found guilty of doing those kind of things. And until he does, he gets to keep his job. And there's no evidence of anything like that anyway. So he's a very talented filmmaker, and he deserved better from Disney. They should have backed him. And this is what the problem is with the loony left, the extreme left. I am left, but not as left-leaning as Hollywood, I can tell you that. That comes from as a bigger place of hatred as the far right does. So I think that Karen Gillan and all the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, just as soon as Volume 3's done, they are gone. It's as simple as that. James Gunn will be gone, and they'll be gone. Any MCU fans watching this video thinking, yeah, he's back, he's going to make more. No. He ain't going to touch Star Wars. He ain't going to do another Guardians movie after Volume 3. He will return to DC and keep on working on Suicide Squad character movies. Yes, he will do individual character movies as well. Maybe a Black Label movie. There's a lot of potential for him with DC. So he's done after Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think this is why she's being so vocal. She's putting herself out there because there's no way she's working with Disney again. And what's interesting is Jumanji, which she's really good in, both 1 and 2, is a Universal production. And I was reading today that Warner Brothers and Universal are partnering up for their home releases, their home movie releases, and any TV shows and things like that. And I'm hearing in my ear, not at this moment, but people are telling me that there could be some kind of team up where Universal and Warner Brothers actually merge. And what's interesting with that, of course, is as well, Universal own the movie rights to the Hulk. Now, I was hearing rumours about 3 weeks ago that actually Disney and Marvel Studios have got rights to do Hulk movies again. I don't know how true that is. If that's true, well, look what they've done to Spider-Man. Totally effed him up. So I wouldn't trust them. And look, Ed Norton had a great vision for the Hulk, and they stabbed him in the back. And I don't want to talk Marvel, but yeah, so basically, right, Karen Gillan wants to play Batgirl, and she wants to direct the Batgirl movie. Now, we know Christina Hodgson, the same Christina Hodgson who penned Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, who's going to be penning the Flash movie or adapting the story from Ezra Miller as well. So some very exciting times for her. She's got a lot of work. She is originally from New Line Cinema, and Walter Hamada has brought her in. So she is penning the script. Well, I don't know if she's already... I think she's been working on it for a couple of years now for Batgirl. So she's doing the writing. And maybe Karen could throw some ideas in there. But, you know, what Karen's looking to do is star in this movie, and she would like to direct it. Of course, this is just chitter-chatter in an interview, but she's thrown her hat in the ring. Now, I've known Karen for years in terms of an artist, seeing her at a couple of conventions. I, of course, first saw her on Doctor Who, and she was fantastic. Her character, Amy Pond, was a great companion, one of the great companions. She performed the role so well. She is absolutely fantastic in the MCU as well. I love her in that. I saw a movie that she directed as well. So she, you know, Karen Gillan ticks all the boxes. I know she would be very excited. She's another one in the mould of Gal Gadot, a real lady. She looks the part. She's got the talent. She's everything that we want to represent with females over at DC, the DCEU, the DC world of movies, or whatever you want to call it. This multiverse could do with Karen Gillan. So it's a thumbs up from me, and I'm tagging her everywhere because I would absolutely love to see this happen. I think she's the perfect age. She's got a great look. She's great at American accents as well. So absolutely, if Karen Gillan is seriously interested in performing and directing a movie. Now, this is what Ben Affleck was going to do with the Batman. Look, it's a big ask, but I think she could do it, and I think she would get a lot of critical acclaim as well. So I would be very, very interested in that. Now, there's rumours about a black and white Snyder Cut. Now, if we remember with the home release of Logan, we got a double edition where we could watch it in colour, or we could watch a noir, black and noir, should I say, black and white version. And I love the black and white version. But let me be clear here. No, I don't want a black and white version of the Snyder Cut of Justice League instead of a colour version. When I went to the cinema, I was expecting Zack Snyder's awesome Justice League. I know that we were told Joss Whedon had to finish it off, but we were told in all intents and purposes this was Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I expected to see it in colour, and I saw something, a car crash, like we all did. So I would love, in a home release, or even on HBO Max, 2 versions, a black and white version. But you know what? At this point, any version of the Snyder Cut will be great, because we haven't got any Snyder Cut right now, and we're still fighting, and we're still looking forward to that as well. So let's have a look at this article from Screen Rant. This is about a more violent action scene from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Twitter user Zack Snyder Bible has also recently shared behind-the-scenes video showing stunt people rehearsing for a major battle sequence in the movie. Based on the video, the rehearsal appears to be for the history lesson, which featured a battle between the Greek demigods and the various tribes of humanity to repel the forces of Apocalypse. During the initial invasion, the video was posted early last year, but appears to only just now be getting noticed. Check out the Justice League fight rehearsal video below, and you can check that out on YouTube. I'm assuming the snap, if you go Zack Snyder Bible, maybe JL rehearsal or something, you'll be able to find it. I mean, the video's on here, but I don't really want to click on it because I want to read some more of this. As with virtually every aspect of Justice League, the history lesson went through major alterations as a result of the reshoots. It should be emphasised that the Snyder version of Justice League to arrive online this past November saw the movie's stunt coordinator Freddie Buscaglia, or however you, sorry for murdering your name, Freddie, also release a reel of fight rehearsal footage. I remember that. I played it for you, remember? Busceglia's video, along with a number of Snyder's social media posts, would also point to there being a battle between the Justice League and Steppenwolf in Star Labs, in Snyder's original cut of the movie. Ultimately, this video is just one more piece of the Snyder Cut puzzle that is being assembled at an increasingly accelerated rate. With the push for the Snyder Cut's release sure to continue in 2020, it remains to be seen what the end result will ultimately be. However, with morsels of Snyder's original plans, such as the fight rehearsal video regularly trickling out, it is increasingly undeniable that Zack Snyder's Justice League is rapidly becoming one of Hollywood's most hyped superhero movies, with or without any official release plans attached. That's really true. Look, of course, seeing anything to do with the Snyder Cut is incredibly exciting. We're still battling to see the Snyder Cut, of course, and we have the power to keep on making noise, of course we do, but ultimately, you know, we don't know. We don't know. But I do think with what we saw in A Crisis on Infinite Earths this week, anything is possible. Because no one knew that Ezra Miller was going to do that. I mean, there were rumours, people were telling me, and I was saying, get out of here. You see, I do have some good sources, but I just didn't believe my sources. And I didn't even do a video about it because I didn't believe it. I thought it was absolute BS. So, look, if that's possible, the release of the Snyder Cut on HBO Max or in theatres around the world is absolutely possible. So keep those hashtags going. Of Arrowverse. Now, we have got a pilot version, a backdoor pilot of the potentially a female Arrow TV show. I think it's Arrow and the Sirens or whatever it's called, right? Now, Pagey, who's a very big person with the Arrowverse, he's got his own YouTube channel. You should follow him, an Australian lad of great manners, great talent. And he's saying it looks like that won't be green-lit. Now, we already know that the Superman and Lois Lane TV show has been given a straight-to-order, which is brilliant for me because I love Superman. And I want to talk about the chances of Brandon Routh getting his own HBO Superman series, which I think would be amazing. We'll talk about that in a minute. But talking about HBO Max, and I touched on this on yesterday's DCEU Daily, this is from CBR.com. Green Lantern, HBO Max series stars two Lanterns and Sinestro. Now, I mentioned the two Lanterns yesterday, but nothing of Sinestro. So this sounds really exciting. So let's give this a read. According to the Wrap, basically, if the rapper saying this, it's definitely true. HBO Max head of originals Sarah Albury announced the series will be an origin story for two Green Lanterns at the Television Critics Association press tour. She revealed it will span several decades and focus on the origin stories of two major Green Lanterns on Earth. It will also feature Sinestro, a longtime Green Lantern core villain. We all know Sinestro, don't we? Well, if you don't, you're going to get to know him. Look, Green Lantern's a great part of DC Comics, and to have a live-action TV series on HBO Max where they will have a gigantic budget can only be exciting. The show is just starting development. Aubrey explains she is in the early stages of talking to producer Greg Berlanti about the project. She offered no additional details, including the identities of the two Lanterns mentioned above. Considering the origin stories will focus on Lanterns from Earth, the candidates can only be anyone from original Lantern Alan Scott to longtime staples Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, John Stewart, and Kyle Rayner, to newcomers Simon Baz. Now, this is interesting because, as we heard a few years ago, Jeff Johns was developing a Green Lantern core movie, as I touched on yesterday, and John Stewart and Hal Jordan were going to be in this kind of Lethal Weapon type of superhero movie where these two guys team up resistantly together, and it was going to be a really fun movie. So what are they doing with this? Are they moving that idea to the live-action HBO Max show and doing something else for the movie? Nobody knows. Or could this be, as I said yesterday, a precursor of, you know, Hal Jordan and John Stewart together and then continue it in the movies? Very interesting. So anyway, yeah, so here's it. They've kind of name-dropping a few ones from Earth that I've read out. He also appeared in the 2011 film adaptation. Why has a Green Lantern anyway, the Green Lantern-inspired series was announced in October, though additional details were kept under wraps. In what promises to be our biggest DC show ever made, we will be going to space with a Green Lantern television series. I can't reveal any more about that just yet, producer Greg Berlanti teased at the time. HBO Max's Green Lantern series has not yet announced a cast or release date. The streaming service is due to launch in May, so it's not far to go. look, as I said, look, what we saw on Crisis at the beginning of the week helms a new era of DC live action. You know, these different universes, and to be able to think about the Green Lantern universe being opened up, and Berlanti and Jeff Johns developing that, as I say, for me, it's totally awesome. If I was going to guess, it's going to be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and either they'll do something else for the movie, or this will, as I say, will be a kind of precursor to what we can get in the movies. It may even be a mini-series to launch, you know, like the Aquaman animated series. They're doing a 3-part mini-series as a precursor to Aquaman 2 and the Trench movie. I think maybe that's what they're going to do there as well. Now, let's talk about Brandon Routh. I have a lot of time for Brandon ever since I saw him in Superman Returns. Now, Superman Returns is a film I was very excited about before I saw it. I kind of enjoyed it. I love the fact he was playing Christopher Reeve's Superman, because without Christopher Reeve's Superman, I would never have fell in love with storytelling, Superman being my favourite character, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Now, the rumours are, now, as we all know, or if you're a big CW Arrowverse fan, Legends of Tomorrow, that Brandon Routh is no longer involved since Crisis in Legends of Tomorrow. Now, Brandon Routh, to me, isn't one of these actors who everybody wants. Now, I'm not criticising Brandon, but he had a good job there. It doesn't make any sense, and people are putting 2 and 2 together and believe there will be a live-action HBO Superman series starring Brandon Routh's Superman Returns Superman and Clark Kent. We saw that version in Crisis of Infinite Earths. I think the budget for what they wanted to do with that wasn't as much as they wanted, but I tell you what, it was awesome to see him. I love the suit. He's got great stature. He's a really good actor. He's a great Superman. And to think that this guy is playing Christopher Reeve's Superman, and potentially he could have an HBO or HBO Max straight to streaming Superman TV show. And this is what I was talking about months ago on a video I posted here on my channel. I said, I want to see an overindulgence. I want Superman TV shows aplenty. I want movies aplenty. Animated series and movies aplenty. We should absolutely be overdoing it with Superman because he needs it. And this answers the question, you know, when people say, should Superman be dark? Should he be light? Should there be a balancing act? Well, we've got the Lois Lane and Superman TV show coming, potentially the Brandon Routh, Christopher Reeve Superman live-action TV show as well. And he's going to return in the movies, probably with Henry Cavill continuing to play the role. So that will be 3 versions of Superman. And for me, that means if you don't like Henry's version, you can watch Brandon's version. If you don't like Brandon's version, you can watch Tyler's version. There's going to be a choice because Superman is that important, that massive, that he should absolutely have his own version. Now, I'm going to finish off like I did yesterday, talking about, what am I going to talk about? Of course, Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker, the 11 Oscar nods, and the ridiculous, negative, toxic reaction to that. Now, I know the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants are all very upset because a female wasn't nominated for Best Director. And I've heard this from a lot of male creatives on Twitter as well. Oh, there's so many fabulous movies made by females this year. They deserve this, they deserve that. You don't deserve anything because of your gender. You don't deserve anything because of your sexuality. And you most certainly don't deserve something because of the background you hail from or the colour of your skin. And that's whether you're white, a person of colour, a Greek Cypriot, who don't get many opportunities in the entertainment industry, but you don't see us bitching about it, right? The truth of the matter is, name me one female-directed movie, female director this year that did a better job than Todd Phillips. And you know, we have Best Actress nominations, don't we? Female performers. So you don't mix those. So there's no point talking about Joaquin Phoenix deserving it or not deserving it over a woman. But we're talking about Best Director here. Is there a female who directed a movie this year who did a better job than Todd Phillips on the Joker movie? N-O spells no. But we should give a woman a best Oscar nomination for a director because she's a female. No, 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 no. None of you men or women did a better job than Todd Phillips with Joker movie. It's as simple as that. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Waititi Taiki, how'd you say his name? Sorry. The Thor Ragnarok director, his Ha Ha Hitler movie, or whatever you call it, right, wouldn't surprise me if he wins Best Picture to calm down the woke police, right? And probably Joaquin Phoenix will win Best Actor. So there's a balancing act. So, so Joker probably won't win Best Picture. I think it should, but the woke police are about, and they're not going to leave Todd and Joaquin alone until the industry backs down, because the industry are scared of these crazy people. But for me, Joker movie was the film of 2019. There were some very interesting pictures last year, but none of them were as good as Joker. And maybe Joker's not your favourite film and you don't appreciate that. But as far as I'm concerned, this movie did everything right. It did something absolutely different and entertaining, and commentated on something people don't want to talk about: male mental health. Yes, we may not have a vagina, but we matter too. So please comment down below to discuss all the topics I've discussed today. Please like, share and subscribe. Please share the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow with more DCEU Daily. See you then.